Hey, what's going on? Say, I had a couple of employees this week that talk just like this. This is kind of contagious. Say, hey, you give me a ride at a liquor store after work. Hey, could you give me a ride to the gas station so I can get some rolling papers? Hey, man, can I use your phone? Hey, can I go warm up in your truck? Hey, man, you got an extra pair of gloves? Hey, man, you got an extra hat I could wear? Okay, that's what my day sounded like today. Anyway, so I got a couple of stocks I want to talk about today. Um, One that I just bought a little bit of yesterday. First stock I ever bought in my Robinhood app. If you're interested or have ever heard of Robinhood, it's an app. I would suggest that I've had good luck with it so far. I bought 500 shares of Plug Power the other day. It's pretty much flat since I bought it. It was up a little bit and then down a little bit. So I think I'm pretty much flat. But they report earnings tomorrow morning. So, I'm not too worried. You know, I I don't put a lot of money into any one company anymore just because I want to be able to sleep at night. I used to put so much money sometimes into a certain company that I literally couldn't sleep when they had earnings. Tomorrow, like literally, even if the stock dropped 50%, which I think is pretty unlikely, I'm down $500, not the end of the world. So, either way, I figure if I was actually thinking about buying more. So if the stock goes down, I'll be thankful that I didn't buy more. And if the stock goes up, well, I'll make a little bit of money. So I like to put myself in a position where it's basically a win-win situation, no matter what. And I feel like with Plug Power, no matter what happens tomorrow, I'm in a win-win situation. No matter what, whether it goes way up or way down, I'm going to look at it, a positive view. So another stock that I want to talk about today that was down over 20% is Neo. Um, I think I might buy some Neo tomorrow. The only thing with Rob, the only thing that's different, and which is totally fine. It's not a complaint. I'm just saying the only thing that's different with a Robinhood compared to say a TD Ameritrade is the time that it takes to transfer your money. I sent in a request 2 or 3 days ago, and the money's still not in there. Actually, I think it was over the weekend. I requested the money, and my funds are supposed to be available. It already pulled out of my bank account, I see, but it's not in the Robinhood app yet. It's supposed to be in there tomorrow, March the 8th. And that's okay because sometimes it works out better that way. There's been stocks where I bought, where I look and I think, man, I wish I would have waited a day or two to buy that. So I don't worry about that at all. It's not a big deal to me. I don't think you should ever be in a rush to buy anything. Um, if you're worried about getting your money transferred a day or two earlier, um, you should maybe sit back and think a little bit more about what you're doing. So, I was actually thinking about buying a different stock, and this is why this is, it could work out good, it could work out bad. But I had a couple other stocks in mind that I was going to buy, but then I see today that Neo, which is a stock we've talked about a lot, they're called the Tesla of China. Neo was down 21% today, back down to $8. I think it finished at like $8.01 or exactly $8. And actually, I was watching it today, and I told myself, "Man, if this thing can just get under $8, and that was I think it was about 8.50 when I was watching it, and it hovered around there for a while, got down to 8.30, back up to 8.50. By the end of the day, it fell down to $8. So I'm pretty confident tomorrow, at some point, it's going to be under $8, and I transferred $5,000 from my checking to this Robinhood app. So I haven't decided completely if I'm going to invest the entire amount into Neo or if I'm going to split it up. It would probably be a good idea to split it up, but with a big drop like that, I'm tempted to just put the entire amount into Neo. That company to me is so intriguing with an $8 billion valuation. They just had a positive story on 60 Minutes. If you watch some of their videos about their cars, it's everything that I've thought a car could be. Um, I've got kind of a futuristic mind, and I think about the future all the time. And to me, I think 20, 30 years from now, we're going to look back and think, man, can you believe the vehicles we used to drive around in? I really think that. I think in the future, vehicles are going to be more like a living space. They're going to drive themselves. You're going to basically sit in the back seat and do whatever you want to do. That's for the last about 5 years. That's how I've envisioned a car, and I've never really seen a company since Neo. I mean, Tesla is kind of close, but Neo actually even hits that home even harder. They've literally, if you go on their website and watch some of their videos, they've that's basically their whole idea is to turn the car into a living space. You can just sit back there and do whatever you want. You can read a book, you can be on your phone, you can take a nap, you can watch a movie, and I think that's I even have a hard time saying I think. I feel like I know that's what cars are going to be like in the future. I mean, they just are. It's everything's headed that way, and to get this big of a jump start, like Neo has, and to have that sort of a vision, I don't see any other car companies out there that have that sort of a vision. And I think China, with these cities that they're building, they're kind of setting them up for driverless cars. And you would need to set your portfolio up for the same thing. I've bought, I have now, I've sold off some of my position, but I have got a fairly large position in Baidu. They're a Chinese internet company who's also working on driverless cars, ticker symbol BIDU. Um, that's a company that's going places for sure. I would definitely invest in Baidu. Long term, short term, I don't know what it's going to do tomorrow, next week. I don't really care. Down the road, you're looking 10, 20 years down the road, Baidu is just going to be an enormous company. Neo, you don't know. They have potential to be. Baidu is more of a sure bet because they already have the whole internet side of things. They've got the search engine. They make lots of money. Baidu makes $12 a share. Unbelievable. The valuation there for an internet. Get this. If you're into a price to earnings, you're looking for value companies. Baidu is a technology company who makes $12 a share, and their price to earnings is 9 or 10. It's just I've never since I've really been following stocks closely in the last 7 or 8 years, I've never come across a stock that's been as cheap as Baidu. I haven't. As far as projecting earnings forward, you could look at a stock like GE and say, oh, they're cheap. But you know what? GE is such an old company. Baidu is an up and coming company, um, and they've got futuristic technology, and they're just earning a ton of money. That company is just going to be unreal. My Roth I basically maxing my Roth IRA out with Baidu. That's my intention this year too. I'm going to put $6,000 into Baidu. Basically, my Roth IRA for retirement is going to be in Baidu stock, BIDU. I don't think I'll regret that. I guess there's a possibility that I will. I really don't think that I will. Looking down the road, I'm 37 years old. So you look 30 years down the road when I come to cash out my IRA, 30, I can't even imagine what Baidu is going to be worth 30 years from now. I really can't imagine. Uh, that stock is going to go so high. You need to buy some Baidu stock right now. The only thing is they don't pay a dividend, but that's good because the growth is so high in that company that you don't want to pay shareholders a dividend. You want to keep growing the driverless car segment, the advertising segment. China is such a huge market. Um, I've just been looking towards China. I feel like the U.S. market is starting to get a little overpriced, and China has really come down in price. So a company like Baidu, company like Neo, um, I just I think if you diversify a little bit there, I just don't think you can go wrong in the future. I really don't. So I would definitely look into some of these Chinese stocks. Interesting to see what happens with such a huge fall today. 21% by Neo. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I hope it dips again tomorrow. You know what hope happens is I hope it dips in the morning, and then I'm gonna buy a bunch of Neo stock, and then I hope it recovers, and then I hope it recovers and recovers and recovers into the future. So we'll see if that happens. But Plug Power is another stock to watch tomorrow, reporting earnings in the morning. So we'll see what happens with Plug Power. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.